Anti-graft court Sandigan Bayan on Thursday orders the arrest of Senator Gringo Honasan for 2 counts of graft over the alleged misuse of his pork barrel in 2012. Honasan is accused of skirting procurement rules when he allotted 30 million pesos from his Priority Development Assistance Fund, or pork barrel, for livelihood projects for Muslim communities. He is expected to post bail amounting to 60,000 pesos for the 2 counts within the day. Honasan says, quote, "I am completely innocent of the charges against me. All my life I have fought everything I am accused of, and I will continue to do so." The project in 2012 was coursed through implementing agency National Council of Muslim Filipinos and non-governmental organization Focused Development Goals Foundation. Prosecutors from the Office of the Ombudsman alleged that disbursement vouchers and checks were already prepared for focused development even if the NGO had not been informed of the project at the time. Checks were also signed before the Memorandum of Agreement between Honasan, NCMF, and Focused Development was signed. Honasan is the 4th senator to be charged in court over the pork barrel scam. Former Senators Juan Ponce Enrile, Bong Revilla, and Jinggoy Estrada are facing plunder charges over the pork barrel scam. A Washington-based think tank releases photos that show continued Chinese reclamation activities in the South China Sea after mid-2015, refuting claims by Manila and Beijing. The Asia Maritime Transparency Initiative releases the images Wednesday as an update to a previous report. The AMTI photos dated August 5 show that Beijing continues to reclaim land farther north of the South China Sea in the Paracel Islands. The area is claimed not by the Philippines but by Vietnam. The photos are released days after Philippine Foreign Secretary Alan Cayetano and Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi said China stopped its reclamation activities in 2015. Cayetano made this claim Tuesday when he justified the Philippines' initial draft of the recently issued ASEAN Minister Statement. The ASEAN statement noted criticisms of land reclamation activities in the South China Sea, but Cayetano initially wanted to exclude these from the joint communique.
It's not reflective of the present position. Well, they're not reclaiming land anymore. So why will you put it again this year?
But AMTI cites China's reclamation work on Tree Island and North Island in the Paracels. AMTI says, quote, "In August 2015, 2 months after Wang Yi claims all Chinese reclamation ended, there was only a small amount of newly created land on the western end of Tree Island. China has since dredged a new harbor and added about 25 acres of additional land to the island." Customs Intelligence Director Neil Anthony Australia on Thursday quits his post amid the controversy involving the smuggling of 6.4 billion pesos worth of shabu from China. Australia, a former Marine colonel, says he is resigning out of delicadeza. The Senate and the House are conducting separate probes into the smuggling of 604 kilos of shabu from China. Australia, in his resignation letter addressed to President Rodrigo Duterte, says, quote, "I have realized over the past days that I will no longer be able to fulfill my duties in the manner we both desire. The sensitivity of my office and the methodology it entails have now been compromised by unnecessary publicity." He adds, quote, "I hope my resignation paves the way for an impartial investigation and leads to substantive reforms in the BOC." Australia has repeatedly denied accusations of smuggling and corruption, saying the criticism is quite unfair and even foul. Lawmakers have accused customs officials, including Australia, of colluding with the Chinese for the illegal entry of the shipment. Australia says customs was able to stop the entry of illegal drugs into the market because they recovered the contraband. Australia was the one who led the seizure of the shipment at a warehouse in Valenzuela upon a tip from the Chinese government. But lawmakers criticized him for failing to comply with the standard operating procedures during the raid when he did not coordinate with the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, allegedly a violation of the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act. PDEA said the customs actions have rendered the seized shabu invalid to be used as evidence, thereby weakening the case. Australia was also mentioned as among customs officials on the take from brokers and fixers to expedite transactions. The Supreme Court, sitting as Presidential Electoral Tribunal, rejects the petition of Vice President Leni Robredo's supporters to help pay the remaining fee for the election protests filed against her. Presidential Decree No. 46 prohibits public officials from receiving gifts because of an official's position, regardless of whether or not the gift is given for past favors or if the giver is expecting to receive a favor or better treatment in the future. The same prohibition against receiving gifts can also be found in Republic Act 6713, which specifies that prohibited gifts include those with a value that is neither nominal nor insignificant. The Piso Para sa Laban ni Lenny Group says they are disappointed with the High Court's decision. The group is planning to file a motion for reconsideration. If their motion for reconsideration is granted by the PET, they will be depositing the money directly to the High Court's account. Should their petition once again be chunked, the funds will be donated instead to Robredo's anti-poverty program, Angat Buhay. Former Senator Bongbong Marcos filed an electoral protest against Robredo and the Liberal Party for alleged election fraud in 2016. Robredo was ordered to pay 15 million pesos for the 31,278 established precincts she is contesting in her counter-protest. Robredo already settled the first half, or 8 million pesos, on May 2. She was originally due to pay the second installment of the protest fee worth 7.449 million pesos on July 14, but sought an extension, which the PET granted. No new payment date has been announced yet. Marcos already completed the payment for a 66.2 million peso protest fee. North Korea on Thursday says United States President Donald Trump is bereft of reason and will only respond to force. This after Trump threatened North Korea with fire and fury like the world has never seen earlier this week. Pyongyang says it is working on a plan to simultaneously fire 4 ballistic missiles in an enveloping fire around Guam, a key U.S. military stronghold. The Western Pacific island is home to U.S. strategic assets including long-range bombers and military jets and submarines. Pyongyang says it would complete in mid-August a plan for the attack, which would involve 4 rockets flying over Japan.